It's been very windy here in southeast Queensland, Australia, and the garden is really not loving it. Let's have a look at how everything is growing in our subtropical veggie garden. If you're new here, I'm Nikki and I'm on a mission to grow as much food as I can on a regular suburban block. Due to our clay soil, we predominantly grow in raised garden beds. We did have an aquaponics system that is currently out of action, which we will be setting up again soon. I have a couple of fruit trees that I would like to expand upon, and we also have some feathered lawn ornaments. Now we're still a bit of a muddy puddle around here. We've got a lot of holes in the ground from the stormwater project, which got put on hold for building the chicken coop, then the shed, which all had to be done so we can get some renovation works done to our house. Not sponsored, but because I'll likely get asked in the comments, the shed is a stubby from Stratco. It's just 3 meters square, half the size of a standard garage. The chicken coop is a royal rooster. I do have regrets on this one, but I will give more of an honest review on the chicken coop soon. Still a lot of work to do on all of these projects, but let's take a look at what's growing in the garden. So out in the front garden, we have 8 raised garden beds in varying sizes. Our purple potted peas are on the arch. They didn't love the wind, but they are finishing up now anyway. These peas are very starchy, so they're best picked as a snow pea or left to dry to make for soups. I need to decide what I'm going to put over here over summer when these finish up. Last year I did cucumbers and loofah. I can't do tomatoes as I need to give these beds a tomato rest, and it's best not to grow them in the same spot for a few seasons. 4 years is ideally best, but it's kind of hard to do when you're limited on space and you're transitioning every 3 to 4 months. I'm thinking maybe Madagascar climbing beans or even letting the sweet potatoes climb over the arches. I'd love some suggestions of food producing climbers that you have loved, particularly ones that can handle the subtropical summers. So one of these large beds at the front has all of our San Marzano tomatoes. I got lazy and forgot to trellis them. And when I looked at them, I realized the fruit was all laying on the ground. I tried to lift them up, but I was breaking the plant, so they were just going to have to stay there. They are certainly loaded with fruit. We've harvested the odd few, but it's now gotten a bit colder, so they're going to take a bit longer. It's likely these will ripen all at once, which is kind of a good thing because I do intend on canning these. The other large raised bed is the one that we planted out in May. I ended up putting a row of radish seed in here that I thought was no good after I'd planted this out. And I was really heavy-handed with the seed, and of course, they all germinated. I do have a few stunted plants in here, particularly in this corner, which I think is due to the Tulsi basil that is growing in there. My sacrificial kale that is now around 2 years old has come back again after being decimated by caterpillars. Now onto the smaller beds. We have the one that we planted out in May with kohlrabi, Swiss chard, kale and various greens. It's charging along. I have picked a bit of the kale from here, but I'll start ramping up the harvests with it now. One bed here we've also got is a random mix of capsicum and rocket that I'm letting go to seed. There's also a sweet potato that has resprouted. And also I have a cherry tomato in here as well. There's the bed that we just planted. The tatsoi has sprouted and I'm starting to see some of the snow peas pop up too. You can check out my last video which shows you everything that I've planted out in this bed and everything that I've planted for July. If you want to plant along with me, I have created a seed bundle which includes everything that I'll be planting for the next 3 months in my monthly staple beds. I'll pop a link in the description so you can grab that. There's 2 beds of garlic out here which are doing really well this year. The smaller bed was the one that I planted really close together, and the larger bed I spaced it the furthest apart. I can't really tell much of a difference at this point, but we will see how it goes when it's time to harvest. The bed that I planted back in April, we've got the sugar snaps coming on and the broccoli is up to the shoot harvest. So I've harvested the main head and now I'm just getting the side shoots. After the major losses due to those cockroaches, the replanted plants of cauliflower have survived, but they have started to flower before they got really big. They are so tiny. I've also let my cos lettuce go to seed here, so I'll let them do their thing. The iris bulbs that I planted have sprouted, and the fruit salad tree, which is a multi-grafted fruit tree with a peach, plum, and nectarine, has already got fruit on it. It's mostly peaches at this point, and I will need to reset my fruit fly bait and also cover it. I'm just waiting for some of the other flowers to finish up and set fruit before I do that. We have planted a bunch of potatoes this month. I'll do some more in the coming weeks. I just ran out of places to put them, so I'm thinking of doing a tower. I'm just not sure how they'll work with the determinate varieties that I do have. In our back garden, this is a work in progress at the moment. It used to be full of timber raised beds, but we battled for years with tree roots invading the beds, so we've slowly been transitioning over to wicking beds, and the aquaponics will get reinstalled back here. We need to build one more wicking bed here, but the one we have selected to use for it is just full of the expanded clay beads of aquaponics, so it's on hold until we sort the aquaponics out. So in these wicking beds, I have one bed of garlic, which is looking fantastic. I am a bit worried about harvest time with the wicking bed garlic, as usually around August I turn off irrigation, and this particular wicking bed is one that I can't fully drain, and I really regret setting it up that way, so we'll see how we go with that. So here I also have the bed that I planted out last month. I did have to re-sow my carrot seed as I let them dry out after sowing, but I've used a shade cloth over, and now I have some sprouting. The sown seeds of mustard and rocket have caught up to all of the seedlings that I transplanted, and finally I'm planting a broccoli that hasn't gotten destroyed by cockroaches. I finally popped in the trellis for the peas, so now they can climb. My bed of onions, which I've interplanted with some beetroots and lettuce, they actually look a bit sad. They've all still fallen over. Hopefully they'll sort themselves out soon. And another bed of garlic in the veg pod. It's grown really well here, and I can't wait to compare all of the harvests of each garlic setup this year. I did harvest all of the potatoes from the other side of the veg pod. I was actually pleasantly surprised with how many we got, considering they were seeds that I planted in March from ones that I was meant to plant the year before in July, and I was actually going to throw them out. I did have rats eating them as they grew. They were digging in under and eating the rotting potato. I can't remember what type they were, but I know that they were indeterminate ones, and I didn't hill them, so I probably would have gotten more if I did hill them. The strawberries are on the way. They are quite happy living in this wicking bed with the asparagus, and I'm pretty happy with that move. This corner raised bed is the last bed that hasn't been turned into a wicking bed, so it does get drained of nutrients and moistures quite quickly. It's mostly full of perennial plants, but they're plants that I don't use a lot of, and I think that they would easily grow in our chicken area with a bit of protection, or under some fruit trees directly in our clay soil. I'm tempted to give this corner bed a full overhaul and turn it into a flower bed now that my flower bed has been taken out of this area. My pineapple bed is looking good. I can't wait to finish this area with a path and some turf. We have 2 bunches of bananas coming on, and we've eaten loads of pawpaws. Only one got eaten by wildlife after I said I need to pick it and then promptly forgot about it. I did remove one of my passion fruit vines, but I am getting the odd one from the vine out in the front garden. I need to do another coffee bean harvest, and for the first time ever, the mulberry tree has almost completely lost all of its leaves. Normally there's a fair few leaves before it starts re-sprouting. I'm hoping to get a few more fruit trees over the next few months. I really want to prioritize some citrus, but I have been waiting on those stormwater works to be completed before I commit to planting anything. I'd also like to put in another guava tree, as we had to remove one due to some construction projects, and it just grew so easily here in our climate. Anyway, that's a roundup of everything that's growing here in our garden in the middle of winter here in July in Southeast Queensland, Australia. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.